I finally gave in to all you lovely people. I've had comment after comment, you should do a Kallari building guide. So here it is. Now, having come back from Epic, I learned a couple of things about Kallari, and so the way I play Kallari might seem a bit strange to a lot of you, but bear with me. I'm going to lane with Kallari. Yes, you heard that right, I'm not crazy, I'm going to lane with Kallari, but don't worry too much about that, as I'll show you exactly how to lane with her once we finish looking at our build. The way I build Kallari is pretty much all damage and attack speed, a tiny bit of health and some lifesteal, so throw in your Warlord as your prime card, a harvester key because the majority of the people kind of expect you to get harvesters even though you're not jungling. Grab a health potion, mana potion and 3 strike tokens. You will find that you probably need the mana because you want to use your dagger ability quite often, and after a few uses you'll find your mana pool quite low. Having a good mana pool will also allow you to escape in those tricky situations by using her backflip and shadow walk. Now down to the meat of your deck. I like to have Scourging Tails in the early game because it allows me to shred any physical armor that the enemy might be building. This is so useful because it means we can focus on building more damage and not have to worry about investing too many points into penetration just yet. The unique active says for 6 seconds, on hit with ability, shred 80 physical armor from targets, which is huge in the mid stages of the game. We later get penetration, so this card is discarded once we have enough points, and it's not a necessity if you don't have it, but it definitely helps. Next, throw in your Adamant Edge with 1 lesser health, a strike and a major strike, your Amulet of the Veteran with 2 major strikes and a greater health, and an Assassin's Ward with 3 minor strikes. The stats on this ward are really helpful. The penetration is great, we have damage, and also lifesteal, which we will improve on further down in the build. My favorite card for Kallari is definitely the voidsteel daggers. This is basically the corruption version of Meltdown. Our voidsteel dagger has a minor pierce, a pierce, and a greater pierce. This gives us a huge amount of penetration if the enemy team do decide to build a lot of armor, which is often the case. Our next voidsteel dagger has 3 major strikes, and our final voidsteel dagger has a minor strike, and a major strike. You can swap this voidsteel dagger out for the one containing penetration if you need that extra penetration. Kallari's attack speed is really bad, and while you don't need a lot of it super early on, I do like to have some to help clear waves and wreck enemy heroes, so add in a Wind Carver Blade with 3 major kinetics. Our final card is Thirstfang. Throw in a Dire Drain and 2 drains. You can throw in any combination of lifesteal cards depending on what you have, just make sure the upgrade costs add up to 8. Now Kallari is really fragile, and that's why I've added in some health. When you do fight an enemy hero, you're likely to take a couple of shots, and having that extra health allows you to kill them before they can kill you. Lifesteal is an obvious choice because you need to push a wave, and what you'll find is that the minions do hurt you quite a bit, especially if they are supers. Because Kallari is a tricky hero, I'm going to go over my build order while I go through my match with her. You can check out agora.gg to get a better look at the final build order. To start, I take my health potion and double strike token. You do however have the option to go mana potion, double strike token, or even health potion, mana potion and strike token. I like to take my dagger ability first as it helps secure the last hit. You definitely want to take your shadow walk ability next because a lot of heroes won't have wards this early and you can use it to your advantage. Backflip is my third ability to be unlocked. In this match I was laning against Iggy, and you're probably like, this is gonna be difficult. Well, it is, but it's not impossible. You obviously want to try and land as many last hits as possible without standing in his turret. Also, don't be an idiot like me and waste a dagger on his turret. Try to focus last hitting, and remember that it's a lot easier for you to get last hits compared to casters like Iggy. One thing I really like about laning with Kallari is that you won't be able to push the wave, but at this point in the game, that's a good thing. The enemy will push the wave up to my tower where I can farm peacefully and safely, and my team can come in and we can secure a few kills. Seems like a win-win situation to me. And that's exactly what it is as I ult in and kill Murdoch. Just a heads up, I back to pick up my Assassin's Ward. I would try to wait until you have 6 points to spend so that when you buy your Assassin's Ward you can max it out, but sometimes that's not possible. Remember that the only way the enemy team can see you when you enter the shadow plane is with wards, so you want to deward when possible, and this also helps give your allies an advantage when they come into gank. I want to take a look at the scoreboard at this point just to show you that we have a good amount of last hits, the second highest on the map and more than anyone else on the enemy team. Unfortunately, Murdoch was feeding because we all get trolls, but I wasn't going to let him ruin the carnage that was about to follow. Chimera gets caught, but luckily Gideon rotated to help him out. He lands a black hole and I used my ultimate to secure the kill on Twin Blast. I could have saved it, but I wanted to guarantee the kill since two of my allies had fallen. We immediately turn on Grux as I land my Dagger. Gideon follows with a slow and cosmic rift, but he manages to get away. You can already see that with only 9 card points spent, we're hurting the enemy team quite a bit. Having maxed out my Assassin's Ward, my next item is my voidsteel dagger with 1, 2, 3 upgrades. I add a major strike into this. I noticed that Chimera is fighting Iggy, and since my ultimate is up, I keep an eye out to see if he needs any help. Fortunately, I was right. The first thing I check before I ult is that my wave has to be pushed up, or this is going to be a free tower for a kill, not a valid trade. Fortunately for me, Gideon does rotate over to save the tower, so picking up a kill was definitely worth it. Although our Chimera died, we managed to get a 1-for-1 exchange. I immediately head over back to mid to see if I can help Murdoch pick up a kill, but then the enemy Murdoch disappears and I notice all the enemies but Twin Blast are missing. This most likely means that they are rotating over to take that right tier 1 tower, and my prediction proved to be correct. I rotate behind their Murdoch because I know my team will definitely need the help. I land my dagger to slow him, double jump to avoid taking too much damage, and then witness the chunks I take out of his health, and Murdoch becomes my 4th victim. On my next back, having maxed out my voidsteel dagger, I take my wind carver blade to help me clear waves faster. For God knows what reason, Murdoch decides to leave the tier 1 tower on the right lane that he was defending to go and secure a kill in the mid lane because he's playing Call of Duty. So I ult onto Iggy and manage to pick him off, but stupidly I back away from his turrets when I should have just continued to kill the minions, but by the time I realized the tower was dead. The great thing about Kallari is her global presence. This gives her the perfect opportunity to constantly split push. If you ever get into trouble, you can backflip and shadow walk to safety, or if your allies need help, you can use your ultimate. I start to push the right lane towards the enemy's tier 2 tower because my team are in a fight and the enemy team are most likely distracted. I could have continued pushing this tier 2, but with Twin Blast missing, he was most likely going to come and defend it, and Iggy was pushing our tier 1, so I ult over on Iggy. Fail with landing my dagger because I'm MLG Pro, but my teammates are already rotating behind him, so I just need to be patient. As they come in, we start to fight Iggy, and he really has no chance as he goes from 100 to 0, and I land a cheeky dagger to finish him off. I then back to complete my wind carver blade. Taking a look at the scoreboard, I'm ahead of everyone on the enemy team but Grux. Now I'm only showing the scoreboard often because people will still doubt that Kallari is good, but if you can stay ahead of the majority of the enemy team, then you're at least halfway there to proving them wrong. Next, I discard my strike token and take my adamant edge, throw in a lesser health and major strike. The extra health will help you deal with carries as they start to get a lot more stronger. I immediately go back to split pushing. My allies are fine defending a tower, and me pushing a wave means the enemy are forced to send someone to deal with me, and this presents the opportunity for my team to engage 4v4, and when I ult in, we are at a huge advantage. This doesn't actually happen in this case as I spot the enemy team rotate towards me, but my team rotate behind them and we are able to catch Murdoch out of position. At this point I notice, hey, I'm not really doing any damage to this Murdoch, so I think it's about that time I build some penetration when I have enough points. In this game I didn't use Scourging Tails because in all honesty I actually forgot about it, but I highly recommend it. I will say that 99% of the time you want to max out a card for that upgraded bonus. I would advise you to do exactly that, but I was desperate for that physical penetration as I didn't want to become cannon fodder for Murdoch, so I skipped finishing off my Adamant of Edge and equip my Voidsteel Dagger with my penetration upgrades and throw in my Pierce and Greater Pierce. This is something you have to decide on in-game. If you're only hitting Murdoch for 89, you definitely need penetration. Your job is to focus the carries in teamfights, and slapping them with a paper towel is not going to help. I was peacefully split pushing when Grux comes charging in trying to kill me. Keep in mind that he's built a ton of physical armor, and now with our penetration we should comfortably kill him. Remember that when you exit the shadow plane with Kallari's Q, you do a damage bonus on that first hit, so be sure to land it. I could have killed Grux alone, but it's always nice to have help from my allies. Next, I return to base to finish off my voidsteel dagger and adamant edge. I then discard my health potion and add my amulet of the veteran for some more physical damage and health. At this point we should have won the game, but our Murdoch just sat in middle lane running around in a circle with the Orb Prime, and so the game went on and on. I just want to show you how much damage we really do with still 9 card points to spend. I pop my Q so that my next basic attack has plus 200 physical damage, so that's on top of everything I've built, and I take a huge chunk out of Twin Blast, who also has physical armor, but he just can't cope, as I pick up kill number 9 with 0 deaths. I then max out my amulet of the veteran and throw in my lifesteal, discarding my adamant of edge because it has the least amount of damage upgrades. I max out my thirst fang and we're good to go. We're now done with the build and I've given you a rundown of what to do, but now I want to give you some essential tips and some neat things you might not know. Firstly, her Q takes 2 seconds to activate, so definitely use it sooner rather than later, because once you hit your Q, they can still see you for 2 seconds. You can use her backflip to jump in one direction, then hit it again to jump in another direction. And don't forget, you can use her Q, backflip and fire your ult while in the sky, so you're perfectly safe and you get a better view of Agora. Kallari is a tricky hero in general, and to really help your allies out you have to be split pushing and drawing 1 or 2 enemies over to you or securing objectives. You want to always prioritize carries in a fight, because without them your team is going to have an easy time killing everyone else. Anyways, this was quite a long video, but I really wanted to get across a different playstyle that seems somewhat unorthodox, but it actually works pretty well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed playing Kallari again. Smash that thumbs up button for that sweet 15-0 kill streak, and until next time guys, peace.